always felt like digital credentials would be very valuable inputs on open, permissionless blockchain networks, where today everything is based on kind of the public key cryptography, whether or not you're able to make a transaction happen type of thing. But if you could actually start to add some business logic or some inputs based on credentials that are coming in, you could start developing much richer experiences on these blockchain platforms than you're able to do today. So you could imagine even credentials coming from an EIDAS based root of trust being able to be presented on an Ethereum network into a smart contract to be able to do something in a privacy preserving manner on top of it.
But let's take one step back and talk about verifiable credentials, or let's say off-chain identity credentials in the context of crypto. So, I mean, obviously, crypto started and had very much love for on-chain identity, using NFTs and SBTs for identity use cases. And a lot of folks thought that, they could just do it until they realized that there's lots of compliance issues around this. And so you basically cannot do it, especially not if it's an AML regulated industry or if you're talking about European citizens. And so the big problem then, however, is, well, if it's not on chain, then you need oracles, or you somehow need a way to get this data on chain, because how would then smart contracts or dApps use it? And so I think that's still a very interesting and to this day not completely resolved question of, if you're thinking about DeFi, for example, but could be basically any other type of decentralized application or smart contract. But if you think about DeFi, permission DeFi was always a topic, and how can I make sure that I, to a certain extent, whatever the type of verification is, can somehow verify, the users that are engaging with smart contracts. With the transfer of funds regulation, this will actually become necessary, such as that if I am interacting with a non-custodial wallet, let's say my MetaMask, with a CASP in Europe or a VASP in the US, right? A crypto or virtual asset service provider. Um, if I pull funds or push funds, I have to prove that I'm the same person. So how do I do it? Especially considering that crypto wallets don't yet have identity capabilities.